Hi there, students. Stock in trade. Okay, this is a noun. It can also be an adjective as well. Let's see, the stock in trade of a business or a shop is all of the merchandise and other necessary supplies that are needed to conduct business. So the stock in trade of a sweet shop are going to be all the sweets in the shop, plus the cash till and the receipt book and the receipts. But mostly the stock in trade is the typical merchandise that a shop sells. Now, we use this phrase stock in trade metaphorically to talk about a skill or a technique or an ability that a person typically uses. So I gave a stock in trade explanation of still, yet, and already. Still is something that you are waiting to happen but hasn't happened. So stock in trade, this is a characteristic or a behavior that is typical. The song had her stock in trade guitar sounds. This acoustic guitar sound is her stock in trade. It's something that is typical. He made a joke about it with one of his stock in trade one-liners, one-line jokes. So stock in trade, a typical subject or the typical way that a company or a person deals with something. He arrived at the party in wearing his stock in trade red suit and white hat. Okay, it's something that he typically wears. So this is talking about a typical way of behaving or a skill that is usual for someone. He spoke with the humour that has become his stock in trade. Maybe a catchphrase. Hi there, students. That's part of my stock in trade for a video. It's my stock in trade phrase to begin a video. So stock in trade, something that is used normally, is characteristic of someone. But notice also the equipment, the merchandise, the material used in a trade or in a business, particularly the things that you have to sell. So patriotism is every politician's stock in trade. The restaurant served us smoked oysters, which are their stock in trade. It's a typical dish. This had their stock in trade flavour. His stock in trade was the face-to-face interview. Her good looks have been her stock in trade as an actress. Teaching through stimulation and enjoyment should be the stock in trade of any teacher. Okay, so it is the hallmark of someone. Friendly persuasion is the stock in trade of every salesman. The picture had the bright colours that are the artist's stock in trade, what are typical. Famous people and their private lives are the stock in trade of the gutter press. So the resources available and habitually used by a person in a situation. Yeah, he told a joke which was his stock in trade. So it's a technique, a skill, an ability which is habitually used in the course of their business or in the course of doing what they do. And this is the idea of stock in trade. A good imagination is the stock in trade of any good writer. I could smell her. I could smell that she was close because I could smell her stock in trade perfume, the one that she always wore. Okay, so stock is talking about merchandise, the stock in a shop, and this is the merchandise so that you can trade. Stock in trade, formality, 4.5 informality, use anywhere except for something very formal. So, stock in trade. Bye for now.